Connor Brunka from the Village School here at Tesla store located at Galleria Mall in Houston, Texas. I am here with Diane, an associate at Tesla Motors. So I hear this car is brand new and electric.
That is correct. It's 100% electric.
So what do you think some special features are in this car that make this car totally original?
Right. So one of the glaring features off the bat that kind of differentiates this car is obviously the fact that it is electric. It is 97% aluminum, so you have a very light top, and by engineering your battery pack at the bottom of the vehicle, it makes some phenomenal handling. I would argue it's probably the best handling sedan on the market today. And then you add in the instantaneous torque generated from the motor at 0 RPM. What that means for you is that every time you hit this accelerator, you just get thrown into the back of your seat, and it's like being on a roller coaster. It's a lot of fun.
How does this regenerative energy work when you take your foot off the accelerator?
Right. So what happens is the electric motor, right? It has two major portions. You have a stator that runs along the middle portion of the motor, and then a rotor that runs along the middle portion, and then a stator on the outside. There's a slight air gap, right? And within that stator, what will happen is whenever that rotor moves, that's what's making the wheels turn. Whenever you take your foot off the accelerator, that magnetic field is actually going to resist the forward momentum of the rotor, and it's recapturing some of that energy back into the batteries.
What is the difference between every model? And which one's your favorite?
My personal favorite has to be a Dolphin Gray Performance with the black Performance wheels. In terms of what differentiates them, not much. It's just we offer 2 battery packs, so you just pick which battery pack suits your needs, and then from there, if you get the Performance version, it just adds a Performance drive inverter, which just gives you a little bit extra punch off the line.
I hear the roof of this car gives you a convertible-like feel. What is that? How does Tesla bring that into the car?
By having one of the largest panoramic sunroofs on the entire market. It works amazingly well. I would argue that it wouldn't make you miss a convertible completely, right? It's a welcome incentive.
And about the charging port. So how did Tesla hide this charging port?
It's actually on the driver's side reflector, right? So it's right where the light is. So what will happen is really no one will know that this car is electric unless you tell them, or they notice that you have 2 trunks, and they'll just start wondering. Aside from that, all you do, bud, is you either go in through your touch screen, you open up the charging port through there, or you hit the button on the connector itself. Otherwise, it's completely hidden from you on that tail light reflector.
And how do people like the 2 trunks?
Love it. Love it. We actually had a couple who's making a cross-country road trip in the Model S, actually living out of the Model S because of all the ample room that it has, making use of the flatbed when you fold the seats forward in the rear, and then making additional use of the storage up front.
So Tesla is just bringing out a new Tesla Model S app for this car.
Correct.
So what do you think are some of the best features in this app?
The fact that I had a gentleman come down from Maine who actually had his car charging in Maine and was here in Houston talking to me, and he was able to pull up his phone and show me exactly what the state of charge was on his car, how long it had been there, and what the status was on most of the features. It was pretty impressive, to say the least. And the fact that he can actually control a lot of those features directly from his phone, being thousands of miles away.
Do you think it's a good security feature that Tesla doesn't allow you to turn your car on with the phone app?
Yes, I do indeed. Of course, it makes perfect sense. Now, keep in mind, with this car on and off, it's kind of a gray area, mainly because the car is kind of like in its perpetual sleep mode, right? Depending on which mode you have it in. But for the most part, the car will turn on as soon as you enter the vehicle with the key fob in your pocket. But in terms of making that a security feature, yeah, it makes sense.
How did Tesla decide to not have a ignition and have a key fob instead of a regular key?
Well, what kind of makes perfect sense, right? Because we're at this point with newer vehicles today, we're kind of foregoing having an ignition per se. All you do is you put the little fob inside the reader, and then you push the start, right? With us, we felt like what's the point of having that if we can tie it all into the key itself, right? So all it takes is you put the key in your pocket, you approach the car, right? It'll open up for you. When you sit inside the driver's seat, it'll recognize you're an authorized driver. Ready to go. Put your foot on the brake, put it in drive, and you're off to the races.
So I hear the handles pop in to make this car even more aerodynamic.
Correct.
So what do you think about this feature?
I think it's an amazing feature, and not only does it look extremely cool, and it's actually one of the things that impresses most people is that the handles pop in and out. It serves a function as well, as you said. It reduces drag over time. This car has the lowest drag coefficient of any vehicle on the market today.
I've heard that the front passenger seat has a little lag to closing the door. And what do you think about this little lag, and how do you think Tesla will fix this?
So the front passenger seat has a lag in closing.
Yeah, when you close the door, about half a second lag, like it doesn't fully close.
You mean the door itself or the handles?
The door itself.
That's an interesting one. I've never experienced that issue myself, honestly. Yeah.
And the handles, like, if your hand gets stuck inside the handle, it's totally safe.
Totally safe. It's spring-loaded. Yeah, so I can actually demonstrate that for you if you like later on. It's completely safe.
So, what new improvements do you hope to see?
The major improvements is going to be in battery technology in general, but in all honesty, should we get lighter, more efficient, more powerful batteries in the near future, that would be where I would like us to focus most of our attention on, since obviously that will translate into having a much more efficient, much more powerful, long-range vehicle.
Improvements do you hope to see in this Tesla?
Speak up. In all honesty, bud, it's a very tough question to answer, mainly because I feel that the car as is, it's probably the best vehicle on the market today. In terms of improvements, it's a very tough one. Honestly, the only thing that I would say to improve upon is battery technology in general. Should that improve, then our cars will naturally improve as well. So I think that should be the major focus.
In the future, how do you think this Tesla will change the automotive industry?
I think it already has, honestly, to some extent. To say that right now, we're essentially trying to amend some legislation here in the state of Texas to try to allow us to sell vehicles here in the state, kind of uninhibited. That's one way we're trying to change it. And also just to spur the market in general. Electric vehicles today aren't really commonplace. A lot of people don't really want them. Where with our car, as a car in general, people just want it because it's a great car. It just happens to be electric.
Do you think this car will become cheaper in the near future so that more people can afford this car?
Yeah, indeed. And the analogy I bring up constantly is the fact that you look back about 10 years ago. I'm not sure if you can remember this too well, but 10 years ago, LCD TVs were thousands upon thousands of dollars for a decent, 55-inch. Today, that same 55-inch, $500-600 at best. So we're kind of expecting a similar trend to occur with our vehicles. It's just technology. Any technology in its infancy is always going to be very, very expensive to produce. So over time, as we keep producing, the more we produce, the more we sell, the cheaper the cars will become.
This is the side of the Tesla. So I'm zooming in on the handles here to show you that they actually pop out and pop in to make it aerodynamic. This is the front of the Tesla, and I will show you where the frunk is in a little bit. So here, I'm just passing the headlights. This is the other side of the Tesla, and right now I'm going to zoom in on the supercharging station, where the charging station is hidden. This is the trunk of the Tesla, 58 cubic feet. It is very safe, and this is also where the rear-facing seats would go. This is the frunk of the Tesla, like I said. So this is a 6.3 cubic feet. It is big enough to fit a regular human. Here I'm going up into the aluminum body before the full body of the Tesla was made. Here I'm showing you the side of it, and you can see how the bottom is totally flat, and the engine would go right in the bottom. Here is the back, where the trunk is supposed to be, and you can see the whole car. Once again, this is monitoring